show, I'm going to say what I've been saying at every show I do. It's going to be a show that I wasn't expecting to do. And I'm going to get into more detail, but since there's really no one on yet, I'm going to say the pledge, sing the song, I play the song, and then we'll get into the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
Now, what are we going to do when the weather changes and we can't afford all this food? Yeah, we're eating plums and watermelon and muskmelon now. And I got some blueberries in there I want to clean so we can start having some of them.
Forget the men who died, who gave them right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt as love is man. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt this land. God bless the USA. Free, and I'm proud to be an American, or at least I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Yes, sir. God bless the USA. Yes, ma'am. God bless the USA. So, where do we go? What do we talk about? Well, we're going to talk about the kids. Super Jimmy, I've been doing some things and looking into these beds, and from all indications, from everything I'm seeing right now, they're ready to go. It's just a matter of time. Truthfully, it's a matter of getting the 800 numbers. When we go in there, from what I'm understanding, we're going to be able to book our appointments right then for the beds. And we're going to be able to give certain names of people that we think needs to be on them right away. So for all of you who have this stuff, I would make my top 10 list. Who are they going to be? But they're real and they're coming soon. As it says in the commercial, to a theater near you. But no, they're not a theater. They're real. I've been hearing rumors that they're actually putting these in the hospitals right now. They're getting them in the hospitals, but on the floors that they're putting them in, there's nothing else on there. And the few doctors and nurses, whatever is being trained for these, I've heard they have to keep their mouths 100. They're under an NDA more or less. They got to keep their mouth shut because if they leak it, not only will they not be doctors and nurses when they go into this system, they won't be doctors or nurses any place. But then again, we know, and I know we're going to have people that's going to open their mouths. It's just the American way. But that's what we got to change. And that's what we got to change. Now, so Jimmy, just hold on, hang in there, and everything's going to be great. Patriot 11, I hope you're really enjoying your summer. You're about the exact age as my grandson. And I know right now he's having a blast. If things go right, tomorrow me and him's going to go fishing. Every time I see him, it's either, Papa, can we go fishing? Papa, can we play catch? The thing I'm really enjoying is when I'm around him, he doesn't want to be inside. And I hope that's how you are. What I'd like to ask each and every kid, if your grandparents or parents or your legal guardians, the people who's in charge of you, let you watch it, because that's the only way you can watch our show. This is not made for you kids, but it is under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. I'd like to ask you the question. Today's Wednesday. You got Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Could you go outside and play? Could you help out around the house? Just be a kid. If you get involved with any electronic device, let it be TV. Stay away from cell phones if you have them. Stay away from tablets, computers. Can you do that? Can you be a kid like I was a kid? My goodness gracious, I'm glad we didn't have that stuff back when I was a kid, because the thought of laying in on my living room floor, talking to someone on the phone, or playing a game on the phone, I wanted to live in the real world, get out and play and have fun, be with my friends. And that's what I'm going to ask all of you kids, can you do that? Patriot Boog, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. Boogie? I know two of you can do that because you don't have it, but I don't know about the other two. But just try. Just try. Call up Grandpa. Ask him to come over. Tell him you want to play games. That's one thing I'll say about my granddaughter. When I'm over at the house, she could care less about that stuff. She's always wanted to play some kind of game. And the games they got out there now are not the games that they had when I was a kid. I don't understand them. And I don't want to look stupid to my grandkids. You know what I mean? So just do what we got to do. Do what you got to do. Patriot, Karate Kid, and Wyatt are, for some reason I have a feeling that you two really are kids. I have a feeling Mom keeps a pretty good look on you. Just try. Patriot Princess, our queen, Patriot Hunter. I had a real good talk today on TikTok with your grandma. I don't understand TikTok all that well. But Patriot Savior was always sending me things, and I thought, well, if I'm going to get to look at what she's sending me. I got to be able to open them. So I went to open an account. I downloaded the app and I realized, oh, I've had a TikTok account for a long time. I just didn't have the app downloaded. So now I can do that. And I had a good talk with your grandma, Jana. And I'm very, very proud of your grandma. I am. I tease her about drinking. I did not know she was doing what she was doing. And when I found out, I felt bad because I tease her all the time about it. So we're still going to have me and her a date. We're still going to have a date with Ron and Patriot6 and everyone. We're going to have a date and we're still going to drink. I mean, Ron's going to drink real beer. She's going to drink that artificial, that near beer. Oh. She says there's some good. She says there's some good. I don't know. I remember once when I was doing Amway, we had a convention down in St. Louis, right off the airport. We sat right in the airport where you watch every plane come. Right in a hotel thing and watch every plane coming in. Well, we had a recess and I went upstairs. I wanted a drink. I just wanted to get away from some of these people. I was getting kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I told them I wouldn't drink. I went upstairs and I said, give me one of those near beers. Oh my God. The lady gave me one. I took one drink and I got a little bit down. But I still had some in my mouth and I said, excuse me for a minute. I walked into the bathroom and spit the rest out. I walked back out and I said, now give me a beer. I didn't care. It's my life. I'm not a drunk. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just me. Plain old Ralph, Patriot6. I got you there on Patriot5. How many was listening? How many goes, hey, Patriot6? So I wanted to see if he was listening. Guess nobody was. No one said nothing. Patriot, little Leona, I know you're going to be a good girl and play. You're going to get on that floor and you're going to play with your toys. And so are you, Leilana. Tomorrow, I know my granddaughter, Patriot Super Gymnast, she's going to be for 7 hours at a camp. And then when she gets out of camp, you know what she gets to do? She gets out of camp at like 3:30. And at 4:30, she goes at 7:30 in the morning. She gets out at 3:30. She gets out of there at 4:30. They got to be back to the church for 3 hours of vacation Bible school. So I might have cheated just a little bit when I asked you kids to do this because my grandkids are going to do it. All except one, Patriot Small Hank won't. He'll get on his toys. Patriot Kiara won't. Patriot Little Monkey, she doesn't have any, so all she wants to do is tell Grandpa to come over. She wants to take a nap. Yesterday she was over at my house. We were swimming. And I've got one of these chairs that I just float around. When I get hot, I roll out. I've told you about them. She had to get in the chair with me. My daughter thought she was cool. She jumped in the pool first and got my chair. She got my chair and she thought she was cool when she did it. I never said nothing. Because she had said, watch Papa, watch Grandpa. I'm going to get him. So when I seen it, I just walked through to the garage and out of the main garage into the shed garage. I got 2 garages. I open the door. I come to the pool and I'm carrying another chair just like it. And she goes, you got to be kidding me. But, and I know Liam, Patriot 7, he'll stay off of me. You don't get much on. He is really into being outside right now. Going back to Patriot 11, I'm hoping he's with Grandma. I have got no indication whether or not they're together this year. I haven't heard from Grandma. I hope everything's okay. But it's just a situation that I don't know. I just hate seeing kids just grabbing phones or looking at tablets or constantly on TV. It's not, as the song said, it's not me, babe. No, 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 it's not me. That's our whole different thing. But anyway, so it pretty much covers all the kids. And, if any of you succeed, drop me a note. Say, Patriot 5, I did it. I did it. Even if you can only do it for one day. One day. Even if you cut back on it, maybe you do it 4 hours now, maybe you cut back to 3 hours a day. Can you imagine sitting in a house just getting a tablet and just, constantly just being on that tablet, playing games, and you don't live in the world? My grandson asks me every time we see, how's things going, Papa? Are we about ready to get that number? For him, it's about money because he knows things he'll get when we get the money, but he also knows he has allergies. I have cats, and that's what he's allergic to the most. He's going to be 9 years old on September 4th, and he's never spent a night at my house. Bothers the heck out of me, but, it is what it is, and it's tough. But, we probably will go fishing tomorrow. I got all over him, though, because Sunday, Mom and Dad looked at him and said, come on, we're going fishing. Took all three of them fishing. They didn't call me. And I've showed you the videos of the little girl, little monkey, catching a fish and how excited she got. I've told you the story about she's reeling in, and she's going, come on, come on, come on. And Amber's going, catch a fish? Yeah. What kind? I don't know, Mom. I haven't got it in yet. And when she gets it in, she reels it in, and she reels it up, and all that's on the end of her line is her night crawler. And she says, oh, it's just a little one, Mommy. And Amber started to laugh and says, Addison, that's your night crawler. That's your bait. And she goes, oh, man. So, Patriot 7 had a mommy-daughter day today. He had a dentist appointment, and after the dentist appointment, they spent time going and getting his school supplies and everything he needs to start. And that's what I'm trying to make the point of, guys. Start having fun. It ain't going to be long till you're back in school. Where did this summer go? Now, we don't know if you'll be back in school because of the situations we're in and what's going on, but we have to see what we have to see. So, that concludes the kids tonight. And remember, as I said, this video is not made for kids, but they're allowed to watch it under the discretion and approval of their parents, grandparents, legal guardians, or someone who approves them. Also, the music played in tonight's show, and if I play any other things in tonight's show, is not ours. We have no legal rights to any of it. We do it for entertainment or educational purposes. So, where are we? Sure never thought we'd be doing a show tonight. Didn't think we'd do one Monday. But I want to get a couple of things out of the way. First of all, I never look at myself when I do a show as better than anybody out there. Me and Ron got involved in this journey in 2008, and I told you the money we could have made if we'd have went a different direction. And we'd be very, very wealthy. The first investment we made in foreign currency, the first investment, if we'd have took that same amount of money and bought Bitcoin and held on to it, we would be so rich. We'd have never got involved in this. But see, I don't feel me and Ron was chosen to get really rich through Bitcoin, which has nothing backing them. You know, I was talking to a young lady today. She started talking to me on TikTok. And she says to me, "What do you know about investing?" And I said, "Investing in foreign currency, I know a lot. Investing in a little bit of crypto, meaning if it's considered crypto, XRP and XLM, I know some. I use Uphold as my way of purchasing that stuff. But foreign currency, I know quite a bit about. Well, I know nothing about foreign currency, but I can show you how to make $10,000 a day. You got to start off with about $200 or $300, and I'll teach you, and we'll turn that $200 or $300 within 2 days into $1,000. Then that we'll take half of that $1,000 and we'll turn it into $2,000 in a week. I'm telling you, within 2 more sentences, she had me making $10,000 a day. And my question to her was, if you're making so much, if you're making that kind of money and every day you can make that kind of money and you have that kind of money to put back into it to make even more. She showed me a thing where she made $37,000 today. I said, wow. But if you're making that, the picture that you sent me just a minute ago, you're sitting behind your desk at work as a secretary. Why are you working on a secretary's earnings when you're making $30-some thousand a day? The point I'm trying to make here is, guys, I was not born yesterday. I was a network marketer, and I know what to say and how to say it to get people to do things. But that part of my life is done. Now, here's the deal. That's not to say that when all this happens, that if the right opportunity comes up, me and Ron just don't take like thousands of dollars, join it, and put everybody in. Where everybody will, there's your thing. But that brings me to the next point. Money. I want to see if I can pull Telegram up, because I want to see something here. RPRN chat. Does any of you follow that? RPRN chat. I follow it, but I don't follow it that closely because since about 6 o'clock this morning, I've got 1,231 messages on there that I haven't looked at. But last night when I left Ron's house, I got on it. And when I got on it, because there was a couple articles I wanted to look for. And when I got on it, I thought, wow, they're having a discussion. The guy who leads this thing is having a discussion. It says join chat, so I did. And the man's talking about stuff, and we all, when you talk about stuff, you have your opinion, right? Everybody has their opinion, just like everybody has what they sit on. And he gets talking, and people are asking him questions, and they start asking him about the money. And he starts to go off on the revaluation, getting the 800 numbers. He's saying things like people think that they're going to go and get millions, billions, and maybe even trillions of dollars with the currency. He says, we're going to a new world, which we all know that. Hey, I got my interest again. We're going to a new world. And in this new world, everybody's going to be equal. Everybody will be equal. He says, every person, if you're 21 or older, will get a lump sum. That lump sum, he says, I figure it's going to be probably about $15 million. Everybody's going to be equal. That's the only way this world can exist when we're going to this heaven on earth world. And I'm thinking, okay, then why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we going to do humanitarian projects? Why are we doing, and then, he said a few other things, and I'm not going to go into it because I'm not going to bash the man. He seems very knowledgeable, but there again, it goes to this. He's got his opinion, which he is entitled to. But now, every person that I've ever followed on this thing, and myself, and all of you guys that get me all of the information, he's the only person I've heard even come remotely saying stuff like this. But you know what? I don't know what it was, the tone of his voice or what. And I listened to him for quite a while until finally I just looked up in the sky and I said, I can't take no more. I really just can't take no more. Now, I'm not bashing this man. He probably knows a lot more than me, but in my opinion, and it's my opinion, I don't think everybody's going to be equal. I don't think the world can survive like that. I don't think we're going to have people that's more important. Everybody's going to, guys, I've got an article I'm going to read in a little bit. And when I read it, you're going to understand what I mean about people. Everyone's going to have money. And the money that everyone's going to have, everybody's going to have nice houses. You want to know the people that's really going to have money? And that's the people that's in construction. Because they're going to be building. They're never going to get a day off. Hire 3 shifts. But see, we don't want that. We don't want people working over. I mean, if you can build houses and you work 1 shift for 8 hours, 3.5 to 4 days a week, you can cover, you can't, construction, you can do inside work during the middle of the night if you want to do it that way. But, it's going to only be for 3.5 to 4 days that people work. We don't need them working more and more and more. And when they go to the job, they go and they have a blast. Can you imagine how much better quality we're going to have in the United States and the world when you go to work and you're happy? Ron and myself and my brother Russ, Patriot4, we worked in a factory. Our main product was building the batteries for the United States Navy submarines. Now you think about that, guys. We was in charge of our troops, our naval troops, going down under in these submarines. I wasn't fortunate enough to go. But we had a group of people one time that was actually fortunate enough to go to a Navy place, and they got to go on the ship, and they got to see the batteries. Well, see them in work. But guys, we made them. We know what they look like. And I can't even begin to subscribe to you what they look like. Because, see, one battery, one part of one battery, you would charge them. You would charge them for 2 days, 48 hours, at about 600 to 800 amps. Then for 24 hours, you would discharge them for 2,000 amps. Do you know how you feel when you're working on something like this? And you know that if you got one little bitty hole in your glove and you get zapped with 2,000 amps, it isn't the electricity that takes a person out, it's the amps. And then after we discharge them, we charge them back up. But one cell stood about 5 feet tall, and it was about, I'd say, 2.5 feet wide each way. 2.5 feet going this way and 2.5 feet going this way. They weighed, when they were done with all the acid and everything in them, they weighed about 600 pounds apiece. And I think I heard it took like 150 to power a submarine. But in 30 years, we never lost one submarine. So I worked there, but the reason I told you that story, guys, is because when Ron and me and my brother Russ, when we went to work, we had fun. They allowed us to have fun at work. Oh, there would be times when, we made other batteries too. We made backup batteries for generators and things like that. We never made any car batteries, but other divisions did. We made little batteries, I can't even go in and try to describe you. We made a lot. And with that being said, we did great. Now, I'll tell you one other quick story. For those who say Pepsi or Coke, well, I got sick once with high lead. And when I come back, I had to work in an area where there was no lead in the factory. Well, when you're building batteries, that's what the batteries are made of, the lead, I couldn't work in my regular department, so I got shipped. And I'm waiting there. Foreman comes up and hands me about 8 bottles, the big bottles, like this. 64 ounce, I think, of Coca-Cola. And I says, I really don't, I like Coke, but where's the ice? I don't think I can drink that much. He goes, oh no, here's the rag, here's the brush. I said, what? He said, well, we're getting these batteries back that we got to fix, and the only thing that's wrong in them is they got corrosion on them. I said, really? And he goes, yeah. You pour the Coke on it, you let it soak in a little bit, and then you wipe it off. Coca-Cola. So think of it. If Coca-Cola can dissolve corrosion, what the heck is it doing to your insides? I try to tell people, and I'm sure Pepsi, you probably do the same thing with Pepsi, but Pepsi would be imitating us if Coke would be imitating Pepsi if they accused Pepsi of that too. So anyway, there's where we're at. The thing of it is, have fun when you're working. And that's what I was thinking about this guy. We want to live in a world. We don't want, I want to go back to the days, and I don't know who's on. I don't know if Myrna's on. I don't know if Diane's on. Anyone in my age group, if you're on, Ron's age group, if you're on. But remember on Sundays, you go to church or Sunday school. That's what I went to, Sunday school. But you go to Sunday school and you get out and tavern's closed. And see, that was a big thing in our town because our tavern was the only place kids could get a pop. We didn't have a store at that time. We could get a pop, we could get candy, we could get chips, Chesty Ruffle potato chips, greatest chip ever made. You could get all that stuff, but on Sunday, it was closed. The stores were closed. All the stuff was closed because this was the day we're supposed to be family. Well, I know my family. Every Sunday afternoon, we sit down to Sunday dinner, and you better not be late. You better not worry about getting back out and playing ball. You better sit there, and if you're talked to, you didn't sit there and eat like that so you get back out and play. We sit there as a family. We talked. We discussed things. We enjoyed family. I'd love to see us get back to that, and I think that's where we're going. You guys are probably thinking, wow, Ralph's a real blowhard tonight. And I am. But it's my show, and I'm allowed to be that. See, because, guys, this is how the show started. For all you people that's followed me from the beginning, you go back. I used to not talk about it. I didn't have no info. I didn't know where to find info. But if I could make people happy, if I could touch people, if I could bring people together, that's what I was looking for. But then all of a sudden we got serious and we got info. And I got info for you. Now, me and Ron are very high for what's about to happen. And we believe it's about to happen because Mark Z, he came out last night and he actually said, it's ready. He was very positive. He was very sure. Mark Z is a very positive man. But it's the first time, and me and Ron discussed it last night after I got done talking to Marianne following Bruce and a big call. It's the first time we've ever heard Mark come that positive and say, yeah, it's going to happen. We're doing it. Supposedly Iraq has been trading now with their currency. They have it set. They've been using lower denominations now for 2 or 3 days. Now it's something holding us up, something that the United States are lagging about, and something that Canada. You know, I'm just kind of disappointed that it always seems like they're blaming everything on the United States, and it could be. It could be. But it is time. As I told you, Savior sends a lot of videos to me, a lot of videos to the group from TikTok. I love each and every one of you here. But when it comes to constant going out and doing things, right now, Michael and Savior and Linda, man, these people, they're relentless. Patriot, Dana. Now, guys, I want to ask you a favor. I know my prayers have not been like they used to be, but we have people in our group or family members that need help. One of them is Patriot Dana. She needs these beds. She's became completely blind, and keep her in your prayers. You know, let's get these beds. Let's get her to where she can see again. And I know I'm going to get yelled at for this, but Bob, Linda's husband, he's been having up and down readings. We need to get them readings stabilized. I don't really believe he's in any danger, but we need to get him stabilized. Because you know, myself, I wear a Fitbit because on my Fitbit I can check my heart rate. Remember when I was in a hospital almost a year ago and I almost died, my heart rate was a whopping over 200 beats per minute. My body temperature was 95.5. I said, I did not, as dumb as I am, I did not know your body temperature could go down. I thought, what fever is he running? I remember someone asked the nurse, what kind of fever does he have? And the nurse said he's got a body temperature of 95.9. And I remember that person, I'm not going to mention a person's name because I don't want him to, get laughed at. That person looked and got dumbfounded and goes, really? And I'm just laying there. I didn't know. But it makes sense. I guess I'm just one that takes my body for granted, but now I work hard to stay in. And when I talked about how proud I am of Jana, it's not an easy task. If you only drink 1 beer a month, just to give that 1 beer up, that's not an easy task to do that. Anytime you have a habit, it doesn't matter if it's a huge habit, which hers was not. I mean, I had quit drinking there for a while because I thought I was going to die and I wanted to live. I feel God put me here for a reason. And, but I mean, heart rate of over 200, but I can check it now. And I do. I mean, right now, I tell you, right now my heart rate is, oh, show me. What's wrong? Yeah, I'm going to have to reset my watch. My heartbeat is 46, which is a little low, which is surprising because I'm kind of jacked up. Okay. See, I got excited again and started having fun and laugh. It went back up to about 56 or 57. I like it to run between 55 and about 65. That's what the doctors told me is normal. When I'm not active, it will go down to 50, 45, somewhere in there. I woke up in the middle of the night and had to go to the bathroom. And I've also got on my phone where I can check my blood pressure. I really wish I had on my phone where I could check my weight and everything like that, but it is what it is, and I'm sure
figure that out.
I'm sure they'll come out with one. So anyway, let's move on. So Mark is very positive. Bruce is unbelievable positive. I mean, Bruce pretty much said goodbye to everybody last night and thanks everybody, but where we at, it should happen. He thought we would have our numbers today. And I mean, there's always seems to be a holdup. And I know if I would look into here and I would mention names and I would say Jeffrey or Papa G or Curly and I got to get some women in here or I'm going to be called a sexist. Janet. Hey, Stephanie. I don't know. We're so close, and when we get here, it's people are worried. We got to do it. One of the things that I laugh at, and I love hearing it. I do. I love hearing it when someone says, "I can't take this no longer. It's tearing me up." Well, how long have you been doing it? I've been doing it for 18 months. Huh? Or Wolvie. Wolvie last week his man's going nuts. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's crying every other minute. He's doing this, he's doing that. And I've never seen a man right now, guys, and I am not cutting the man down, but I have never, ever seen anybody doing shows like this or doing them the way he does. See, I don't like the way the Wolvie does his show. If he really loves his people, come on and do them so we can see him, but also have a chat room open on the side where we can talk and ask questions. But Wolvie never will allow you to ask questions. What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? That if he's doing a show, and now today he got going about, he's been doing it for 5 years. And he's went through so many challenges. Now listen, he's saying his hearing is going and this is going. I've been doing it since 2008. And since 2008, on 6 different occasions, I've had doctors tell me, medically speaking, you should be dead. So, Wolvie, I love you, man, but I think I just trumped you. In the words of the way we tease my daughter-in-law, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with her. And, guys, I'm going to tell you a joke about her in a minute. I one-upped you because that's what we give the nickname to my daughter-in-law, one-up. Because I'm telling you, she has to one-up anything. Anything anybody says, unless it's me now, because she's realized she can't get me. Because if she starts trying, I start talking about this stuff, and she doesn't have a clue about what's going on. I'm really surprised she didn't get into it, because then she could do things. But the whole thing is here, guys. Now, see, I'm talking like Wolvie. The one-up is just, it's nothing. It's an opinion. But 6 times since I've joined this. One of the times, which was the last one, in August of last year, the doctor literally looked at me and the nurse, and, well, he didn't really look at me. I think he wanted to kind of keep it a secret, but, when I thought he tried to keep it a secret, but then as loud as he said it, after he left, I looked at the nurse and I said, he wanted me to hear that, right? He said, yeah, he wants to still scare you into getting better. As he was leaving, he looked at the nurse and he says, he's got about 4 hours to live if we don't get a miracle for him. So we got to work hard, and he's got to work hard to want to live. Well, I wanted to, and I had the greatest nurse in the world. I mean, I've had more pretty nurses, but this guy, I'm telling you, when this happens, I'm going to look him up, and I promise you, he's never going to want for nothing. Him or another one who took his place when they sent him home, because when he saved me and got me all set up, pretty much had me set up to get in my own room instead of being in intensive care. He did some other things. So anyway, Josh was the other nurse, another guy. And I never wanted a guy nurse. I always wanted him. Ron was in the hospital once really sick. And I mean, every nurse that came in was nicer looking than the one before. And they did so many things for him. I mean, you need your pillow fluffed? Yeah. What I want to ask is some guy to fluff my pillow. You know? You want a back rub? Not from you. No, I could go on and on, guys. I could turn this into an X-rated version. So, okay, I got to get back on track. So, Bruce is very positive, very, very positive. Mark is very positive, and I'm going to read to you Bruce's intel, and then I'm sure Judy will have something to say for it. But the one thing before I really get into the intel and everything like that, the one thing I want to say, and I'll apologize for talking so much and doing what I've done tonight, because all I can say is it's given you longer to talk over there on the side, right? So, it is what it is. I do want to congratulate the people who've been contacting me lately and have been purchasing some currency, so they will be even better set up. I want to go back to that gentleman that I mentioned on the one show last night. Guys, if you want to believe in what he says, do it. But stop and think. We've been doing this show now for quite a while. And we have got information from many, many, many other truthers, many, many other people that do shows. And never once has they said everybody is going to be 100% equal. Everybody is going to have what they need, have what they want.
Eventually we will, but that's way in the future.
Ron says eventually we will, but that's way in the future. Well, let's go into a little bit. I want to talk about someone that she had a very good 5.5 minute chat. And she got talking about information, and that's Guy Prince. And in this, she's telling us that when you go to the Redemption Center, if you're going in with Zim, as you're leaving, you're going to get a Q phone.
No.
What?
Today she was saying when you go for your appointment
Hold on, guys.
When you go for your appointment,
Speak up so they can hear you.
When you go for your appointment for the med beds.
Yeah.
That's when you get your Q phone.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Now, that's when you get the other one too?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what I was going to tell you. The one I listened to, she said, when you go for your appointment, you'll get your Q phone as you leave. Your partner will not get one. He'll get one when he comes back with his. And as you actually, before you leave, they're going to show you a small replicator. They're going to show you how to use it. It's going to just be small, little things, some clothes, some food, things like that. And you'll take it home with you. You'll take it home with you. They want the people who's doing the projects to learn this because it's going to benefit them as the projects start. Now, Ron is saying she kind of changed it and said when you go in for your bed appointment, that's when you're going to get it. But one way or another, guys, think about, she says these replicators are about the size of a microwave, but very light. Technology, they're very easy to understand. Now, for everyone here, guys, just listen just for a minute. How would you feel if next Monday we got this done, we've been and you got, and you get up in the morning and you go, man, I want steak and eggs for breakfast. And you go there, and the next thing you know, you got your steak, your eggs, just like you want it. Oh, darn it, I forgot my toast and juice. Now you got your toast and juice. Now as you see, I'm smiling when I say this, because I really, 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 really want to believe in these.
What should I wear today?
I really want to believe in these, but I don't know. Hey, you remember that store, Walmart? Remember that? Or JCPenney or Sears or any place that has clothes. You get in the morning and you say, man, I feel like cut off shorts and a tank top, a patriotic tank top. Psst, they're there for you. My disappointment is we're only getting a small one to start off with, because I'd like to say now I want to take my 72 Buick Skylark out for a ride. Now, people might look at me and say, why 72 Buick Skylark? Because that was my favorite car I ever owned. After I went through another thing where I wrecked the car that I had bought brand new and almost killed myself, I was told again at an early age of 19, oh, you shouldn't have survived that crash. I mean, how many times can you get told that? So, I really enjoyed Sky. As a matter of fact, I have been opened to everybody. I've told you my feelings about her. So, before I go any further, I do want to share a picture with you guys. You guys all know I love sports. And that's another thing I didn't like about this guy last night on that show. He was cutting down sports, but he does say it can be saved. So if they can be saved, we're okay. He does say the Olympic is 100% fraudulent. But I love sports. I love every team in Illinois except the Chicago Cubs. I've already been happy today because Ron sent me my favorite emoji, the L, big Cubs lose emoji. But I got a picture today that the Chicago Bears have picked their cheerleaders. They're going back to cheerleaders this year. And I think they picked the cutest cheerleader in the world. What do you guys think? See, I told you, see, that's how things go. I talked about the Cubs losing, and sure enough, it went off of that cutest cheerleader picture. I don't think they're going to let me show her. Let's try from back here. See that? Is that not the cutest little cheerleader for the Bears you've ever seen? So, let's move on because I've talked way too much.
Yeah.
A big win today in high Florida court against ABC Fake News and LIDDLE Georgia, SLOPADOPOLUS, a powerful case. Before you know it, the fake news media will be forced by the courts to start telling the truth. This is a great day for our country. Major fund movement for group leaders across access today. People just don't realize or appreciate the magnanimous size of this global undertaking or vetting and verification process on such massive amounts of bonds and other assets ahead of us. It's a tedious process, and that came from Rod Steele. I already read that one. So what's this one? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, guys, this next one I'm gonna try to play it so you can hear it. So listen closely if I can get it. I want to ask a question. Do you guys remember what you was doing when you heard that Michael Jackson had passed away? It became the Jackson 4 instead of the Jackson 5. And it just doesn't have the same point. Maybe along with Elvis Presley, the two greatest entertainers ever. But this is the last thing they have recorded that Michael Jackson ever said. Now listen, guys, you got to listen close.
This is it, and see you in July.
You understand what he said?
This is it, and see you in July.
Wow. What month are we in? Haven't we said that he's coming back? Haven't we said we've seen him? That he's just like all these other people that we're usually worried about, all the other people who are bad in mask, but he's in mask, and I believe since he's been back, he's played men, he's played women. But just think about it. This is the last public thing supposedly they have that he said. And he said, this is it. See you in July. It's July. I don't know, to me, got my, let's see. Yeah, it's got my heart pumping a little bit. So, I seen that, man. I knew I had to share that tonight. I hope you guys could hear it. I am that I am sent. Good morning, I think. Did you know that tomorrow, July 25th, is the day out of time? In the Mayan calendar, this day marks the end of the year and the transition to the next. It is a time to pause, celebrate, and reflect on the past year while setting positive intentions for the new cycle starting on July 26th. The day out of time is about celebrating peace through culture and reconnecting with nature. It is a perfect moment to let go of the past stresses and embraces new beginning with hope and positivity. Take some time today for reflections, connect with loved ones, and appreciate the journey so far. Wishing you a peaceful and joyful day out of time tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to try to read you something here. There are 3 types of payouts. What is the Reclamation Act? It's going to be hard for me to read because it's small and I got to move it, so bear with me. Reclamation is the act of returning something to a former, better state, land. Reclamation might involve raising a strip mall or planting crops. Reclamation is the noun form of the verb reclaim. Most people involved in reclamation want to reclaim something out of a sense of moral, environmental duty. National Economic Stabilization and Reformation Act. This is the Big N U.S. domestic payout, a portion already mirrored onto your OFS account. shown at the redemption centers. It's intended to restore what the evil cabal, deep state, and Khazarian mafia elites, corrupt Federal Reserve banks, SEC, and Wall Street stole from us and everyone in our lineage. Not here today. Okay. Who is eligible? Group 1 is 61 plus. They get a lump sum of $61 million. Group 2, 45 to 60. They get a lump sum of up to $38 million. Okay, it was up to 61 for the 61 and up. Group 3, 24 to 44, lump sum up to $23 million. I really liked that. Let's see what Bruce has to say a little bit here, and then we'll do Judy, and then we'll... Wow, I'm overtime, ain't I?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I'll go quickly on Bruce, because a lot of the stuff that Judy's got I've already covered anyway. Bruce, big call, 23rd, 2024, very short notes. This is going to be an interesting week for us. A lot is happening all around politically. Wow, we have had quite a week. It will not get easier. Do not be surprised if the EBS/EAS and EWS comes up starting tomorrow or Thursday. There is so much going on globally. The rest did get finished globally, but still some in Canada. There's what's still going on in Canada. This is a time when things are coming together for us. Yesterday, talking to the Redemption Center and bank people, bank screens were not showing rates, but Redemption Center screens showed blinking rates. But today it was the opposite. Later today, the Redemption Centers are showing solid rates, but in grayscale, you cannot make out what the rates are. But around 9:30 Eastern time, we will, around 9:30, wait a minute. But around 9:30 Eastern time, we will have solid rates on the screens. At 9:30 a.m., staff is being sent in as early as 10 a.m. and also 2 p.m. to cover the day. We could get notifications tomorrow and start exchange tomorrow. Start Wednesday and go through Saturday. We should get the 800 number emails. If not tomorrow, then Thursday. But we should start tomorrow. That is great news for us. That is what we are all looking for. When you get the EAS and EWS, that is designed to cover for us. So I am excited that it is about to occur. You have seen political change and maybe more soon. I am looking forward to getting started in a way of notifications. The dinar is a contract rate. They are to offer the USA citizens the contract rate. The ZIM holders are given priority. You do get priority for the beds also, and they want those of us who will be around to do projects for many years to have a shot at living longer than normal lifespans. You should be looking forward to gaining longevity to see projects to the future. I will tell you, we have waited a long time for this, and this info I got is very positive, and I believe we are at the point to start. We do not know when emails will come, but we know bondholders are being notified tomorrow and have access to funds by Thursday. I believe we will be starting for exchange and maybe start Wednesday or Thursday. Look for your email. That was sent. That was what Bruce said. It was sent by Carpathia. Okay. Let's go see what Judy has to say, and I'll let you leave. I don't know, maybe many have just left already. No, we still got 124 here. You guys must be liking this. Oh.
They're like chatting. Who's that?
Restored Republic via the GCR as of July 24, 2024 by Judy Bidington. Intimate emergency broadcast system release globally. Global communications blackout. Global military law enforced while doing mass arrest of the bad guys. The Big N and Big G release. Freedom from debt to the deep state cabal. Global currency reset of 209 foreign nations to gold asset-backed currencies. Sleepy was said by his brother to be in hospice care and dying after Wednesday 17, 2024 incident in Las Vegas. He hasn't been seen in public. On Monday, 22 July, Jr. hinted on Telegram that the deep state cabal had run out of sleepy doubles. The sleepy demise they are talking about may actually be that of his clones, since clones only live around 3 years, or they may find another actor to replace him. We've certainly seen many of them in the last 3 years. So who the heck is running the country? Answer: the U.S. military with the hat as commander-in-chief has been in charge ever since the hat handed over presidential authority before 2017 inauguration. I'm not going to read that. Covered it already. Yeah, it's not really much more. All she's really got left is, some things about Sleepy that I don't want to read because I want to stay away from that as much as possible. We've talked enough about that. And the other things she has is, redefining what Bruce said last night. As I talk to you guys, I'm not sure we'll do a Friday night show. Not because I don't want to do a Friday night show. Guys, I'm not sure if we're going to be allowed. We're going to have to see what we're going to be allowed. And I say this every night, but I say it just so if it does happen, and I've asked you guys, get me some information so we can stay in touch. I said, we'll send our signal link to anybody who wants it. Join our single link so we can stay in touch there. And not hardly anybody's done it, but that's okay. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's all right. So with that, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I felt like myself when I first started. Other than the fact that I was live, and when I first started, I was just doing it. So I laughed and I joked and I told stupid jokes, and I thought tonight I laughed and I joked and I told stupid jokes, and I had a lot of fun. And I want to give all the credit to all you guys for everything you do for Ron and myself and the Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 group. And we'll see you probably Friday, maybe Thursday. I have a feeling I just have this feeling. I'm hooked on a feeling, like B.J. Thomas said. And I'm high on believing that I'm going to get something really important come through from Savior or Linda or someone, Michael or Papa. Someone's going to send us something, and it's going to be what we waited for. Or we're going to get up and we're going to get these 800 numbers. And when I see my 800 number, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call Ron and say, I got it. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get online. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to get online. I'm going to come to YouTube and I'm going to do a video. Because if I don't call, if I haven't did any obligations yet, they can't tell me I can't talk. And I'm just going to tell you guys, I got it. And anybody who wants it, I'll give it to them. I probably give it right there to the people on the show. So there's where we stand. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, we pray that you just stay with us. Help all of us, all the children, 100% of the children, Lord. Help us through this times of happiness, sorrow, but more happiness as we take your world to heaven on earth is what you've always wanted. And we pray to you, Lord, through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. Patriot 5, Patriot 6, love you.